comics and whiskey, which is a jingle that I wrote for this. So this is my second take because I have to say, the Marvel Reader is not as good as the Comixology Reader, man. I have problems with this app. I like the fact that it's Marvel and it's a what do they call it? Like a subscription, and it opens you up to all the Marvel titles. But damn, man, this thing is glitchy as fuck. Anyways, like I said last time in my first take, I'm drinking Jameson's, and I got to take another drink. So hold on. Jameson's on ice. I didn't mix it. I've been digging the Tullamore Dew. I've been mixing that, and I love what it does to the soda. But Jameson's, I got to drink straight. So straight over rocks. That's what it is tonight. I think pretty soon I'll be doing the cask mates. Anyways, to get you caught up, we're not going to go into the nuances. We're just going to look at the main things. If you want to know the nuances, go back. Go back a few issues or episodes and check out those. I try to keep them relatively short. So Daredevil basically was given a baby. The baby, he was told, is either the Antichrist. He was told by one person it's the Antichrist, or that it is the Savior. He learned when he went to Doctor Strange and Mephisto said, hey, dumbass, your Savior's not coming as a baby, so what are you going to do, right? Last issue, Bullseye made an appearance and basically slaughtered everybody in this cathedral, including Daredevil's mom and Karen Page, who we recently discovered was HIV positive. Now, getting into this one. Right here we have the Kingpin. He's reading this article basically describing what I just said about how there was this massacre. And then it goes on to say that Karen Page, who was a talk show host, was also found dead. But she was also a hooker. So, you know, porn star, whatever. I mean, if it's one of the original jobs like from the Bible, she probably did it. We cut here to Daredevil, and this is actually a pretty cool little sequence. There's not a lot to read, but Daredevil is just depressed as hell. You can see that his right shoulder is still fucked up. He's got himself a little pistol there, and he holds it to his head because he's just not sure that he's going to be able to live anymore. It cuts to a flashback, and he's talking to Karen Page, and Daredevil is contemplating tossing the red suit because he just doesn't want to do it anymore. And she's like, you know, I don't think that that's really the best thing that you should be doing. So then down here, she's like, let's have a little sex. And I'm hoping that's like pre-HIV sex and not post-HIV sex. We come back to Matt. And, you know, they really do a good job. And I know they break it up into a lot of little boxes here. But they do a pretty good job of capturing his pain. And, you know, when you talk about relationships in comic books and stuff like that, you're really counting on the reader buying in because, you know, you have here where he's like, I love you, Karen. You know, she says, I love you, Matt, from the flashback. And if the readers aren't buying in, then this just comes across as hokey and cheap. And I think anybody who's been with Daredevil for a while knows the history of this relationship. And so I think it's written well enough to where they buy into this and it doesn't come across as cheesy and stupid. And then, of course, you have him sitting here with the blocks and, you know, it introduces who did what. It cuts back to another flashback and Karen's basically talking about, you know, them having a kid. And she says, you know, I don't want you to give up being Daredevil because when I go out on the street, I know that you are the one in the red suit and I feel safer. And I want our baby to feel that way too. And then at the top here, it's kind of cool. She says, hey, you know, never stop being Daredevil. Take care of the child or our child when we have it and never stop being Daredevil. And then this is pretty cool how it kind of phases back in, which isn't easy to do. Like, it's not easy to capture that in a comic book. And they did a really good job. And then right here is just bitching. He's all, I won't, you know, he's all angry again. And I got to say, Daredevil is one of my favorite characters. As far as imagery is concerned, he is my favorite Marvel character. The things that they do with him are just freaking awesome. Now, at the bottom here, if you remember, this guy was supposed to be dead, but somehow he's back. This sequence is kind of cool. Let's take a drink. Take a drink of your whiskey, everybody. And I know that every time I take a drink, I go, but hey, it's a damn good trip. All right. So we cut to these regular street thugs, and this guy here with the mustache, he's going to tell everybody about the night that he cut Daredevil like a fish. And this is another sequence that I really enjoyed. So he's talking all this shit about how he beat up Daredevil and cut him and stuff like that. And you see the DD in the back start to appear. And then right here, like, everybody starts taking off. He's like, what's going on? And then Daredevil grabs him. And he's just like, oh, shit. Like, you know a brick fell in his underwear, right? It had to. And we cut to this, and Daredevil is holding this guy above, well, at a rooftop here, and he's asking about Bullseye, where Bullseye is, and this guy tells him, hey man, Bullseye bounced, like after all that shit, the dude bounced, but there's this meeting of these heavy hitters going on, and he gives him the address, and then Daredevil literally leaves him hanging. So Daredevil decides to go to this address where all these heavy hitters are supposed to be, and here you have the guy at the top saying, hey, I got him, but this is kind of funny. No, again, this is the guy that's supposed to be dead, right? So we know that something's going on because he should not be alive. Now, this guy whispers, because you see how it's lightly colored there. He says, I'm going to enjoy this. And Daredevil's like, I heard that. So he throws this thing through the glass and just the silver bullet whacks that guy in the face. I just love that. Now, Daredevil starts getting attacked by the Hand, and he goes through here saying, man, this is not the Hand. First, I heard him coming. These guys all smell like alcohol and drugs, and I can smell that they're afraid. So he dispatches them pretty quickly. We go back to the main bad guy here, and they're basically just setting up the different levels. So you see here on the left, he hits White Noise, and then he hits Door 3, and then Hell. So Daredevil's getting ready to go down this elevator while he's being talked to by this villain here at the top. So he goes down this elevator, and it's just hands. It's like what we imagine hell is actually supposed to be. And Daredevil's climbing through, and then, of course, Karen comes through, and he's just, like, starting to hurt again, but he turns that hurt to anger as he starts grabbing out. And you see here in the bottom, he grabs something, like a piece of cloth or something. And you might remember this guy from a couple issues ago. He opens up the door, and boom, this guy with the bowl haircut, I guess it's not really a ball haircut, I don't know, like a semi-bob, says, hey man, I'm your guardian angel, come with me, let's go do this together, we're going to thump these little fools. Now at the bottom you see, he's got that cloth again, he's holding it in his hand, and he realizes it's like latex or something. You see he's smelling it here? It's like latex, it's synthetic, it's not flesh. So he's starting to piece together that all of this stuff, like every time he thinks that something religious is happening, it's not. It's there's an explanation for it. He goes down this elevator shaft of demons, and it turns out it's latex. So he's really starting to push it together. So him and the guardian angel start running to wherever this baby is supposed to be, and the guardian angel is beating up on all these henchmen, because henchmen are always easy to kick. They always get their asses kicked. And all through this, Daredevil's like starting to pick something up. So he's like right here, he's talking about, I feel something, I hope I'm not right, but then he realizes I am right. So this guy, after beating up on the henchman, says, come on, brother, let's go do this. And Daredevil just socks him in the titty. So apparently knocks him out. Why, you might ask? Well, let's check this out. Daredevil hops on him, starts ripping out all of his guts, and realizes, hey, this is like metal shit. This is like, like mechanical wires and shit like that. And here we see in the face is this guy right here. Just some schmuck who was in a big suit. And now Daredevil's really starting to put it together. And he relates it back to Karen, of course, and his mom. And it just makes him more mad, as you can see down here at the right. So here we have our guy who's supposed to be dead, and he's basically like, look, man, I am the king of illusion. I am the king of smoke and mirrors. So, I'm not gonna like Daredevil was telling him to pray. He's like, I'm not gonna pray. Like, that's not who I am. I am the great deceiver, is basically what he says. Daredevil's like, keep talking, fool, because the more you talk, the closer I get. And then he kicks the door, and here's our main bad guy finally starting to expose him who he actually is. And I don't know if you know, but you can kind of see, you've got the eyes here and the purple thing. Some of you guys might have put it together if you're deep into comics. This guy is a villain who's made a appearance in quite a few comics throughout the years. So Daredevil, again, is still like, keep talking, moron, keep talking, because I've almost got you. Then he throws a silver bullet and bam, breaks the glass, and he sees this guy. So Daredevil's like, you know what, enough of this fuckery. Like, show yourself. And so our main villain here floods the room with like glass with gas, which is kind of dumb because obviously he even admits, okay, dude, you're sightless, but I still want to make an entrance. And then we go to our last page here, and bam, there he is, Mysterio in all of his glory, standing over Daredevil, getting ready to pounce or whatever. So that's it for this issue, and we're going to go to the next issue pretty soon, and we're only going to have one more issue before we do strips. But this is, first of all, a great way to end this issue. I love this splash page effect. I think it's awesome. It's a good entrance, even though, with the radar, Daredevil can see where he's at and whatnot. Now, if you've been following this story, you might be like, fuck, all this was Mysterio? Like, what the hell? Stupid, whatever. But in the next issue, which I've already read, it really wraps up pretty nicely. And Yeah, I'm not going to give it away. I don't want to give any spoilers or anything like that. You're going to have to wait. So, all right, one more drink of whiskey. Everybody, raise your glasses. Let's finish that bitch off. And as you know, yesterday was 9/11, so everybody was somber and whatnot. That's why we go to our whiskey and comics, and let's just get away from reality for a while, because comics and whiskey are the great equalizer. Once again, thanks for joining me. Hope you guys enjoy. I don't care if you add thumbs up or likes or whatever. I just care that you check it out. I care about views, and hopefully you guys dig reading these comic books and drinking some whiskey with me. So what's important to me is just share this shit. I'm not trying to go for world domination, but get a couple hundred people watching it. I dig that you guys come out and check it out. So that's all I care about. And got a long ways to go. I think we're only one series in, and I just want to keep doing this until I get bored with it. Anyways, be safe as always. Take care, and I will see you on the flippity flop.